Is Steph Curry's future legacy tied to Kevin Durant once more? There's been a lot of talk about legacy as of late, and people can't seem to wrap their minds around certain things that have been going on and how it might elevate some and lower others. Case in point, the Golden State Warriors shocked a lot of people this year by going and winning the NBA Finals. Their fourth title in the era as Steve Kerr, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and of course, Stephen Curry. But with the future already uncertain on certain parts, some people think they need to bring back KD to get more titles and ensure legacies. But the question is that actually true? Number 4, what Jalen Rose thinks. Winning a championship changes a lot of things, and in this case, it changes narratives. After winning his fourth championship and much-deserved NBA Finals MVP just over a month ago, Steph Curry solidified himself as arguably one of the top 10 best players of all time. Years of talk saying Curry needed Kevin Durant's help to win 2 championships were quickly put to bed after his dominant showing during the 2022 NBA Finals. With Durant requesting a trade away from the Brooklyn Nets, the Warriors have been discussed as one of the top teams to land him due to their combination of picks and young talent. ESPN's Jalen Rose forecasted what would happen should Durant return to the Bay Area. KD is going to get a lot of slander, Rose said on an episode of Get Up. Rose also added that it was great to see the Warriors win a championship before Durant joined, and it was awesome to see them win 2 when he arrived. However, Rose says the relationship between the Warriors and KD changed after the Dubs won the 2022 Finals. Mainly, if Durant were to go back to the Warriors, most fans will realize that Steph was the main cog during those championship seasons. Everybody is going to look at that as a boost to the legacy of Steph Curry, not to the legacy of Kevin Durant, Rose concluded. It makes sense why Rose would say that to an extent. In the 3 seasons since Durant left, the Warriors went from having the worst record in the league to NBA champions. The Nets, on the other hand, are in a fluid state, with constant rumors about whether Durant or Irving will be traded, even after making the playoffs the last 3 seasons. In spite of all the rumors, there has been little traction between the Warriors and Nets regarding a deal for Durant. Nevertheless, until something actually happens on the Durant trade front, Steph and the Warriors will always be mentioned, for better or worse. Number 3, would KD really go back to the Warriors? Now that is a far more interesting question than you might realize, because if we were just talking about the goal of winning championships, then yes, KD would absolutely try and go back to the Warriors because he knows they can win championships together. After all, his 2 rings are because he went to the Warriors and dominated with them. But that's the rub, isn't it? His move to the Warriors is considered equally as controversial as the decision by LeBron years back. Why? Because it was seen as a cheap move to try and get rings. Though it should be noted that KD did it in a much kinder way than LeBron, who decided to have a TV special to announce it, versus KD just saying it when it happened and trying not to make a big deal about it. More on LeBron later, but we will stick with this topic a little more. You see, Kevin Durant confused a lot of people when he left the Warriors after the suddenly injury-struck team lost the NBA Finals to the Toronto Raptors. He didn't just leave a championship squad in potential, we'll never know what would have happened had he stayed and gotten better with them, but he went to a team in the Brooklyn Nets that have never won a title, and he was going to a team that was unproven, had a rookie head coach in Steve Nash, eventually, and had the volatile Kyrie Irving as a teammate. Hardly the most stable situation, yet he went there, basically sat out 2 years, and even though he signed an extension with them before last season, he is trying to get out of the deal to go somewhere else. But why wouldn't that place be the Warriors, you might be asking? The easy answer to that is legacy. In this case, the legacy of a man who wants to prove that he can do it without players like Steph Curry on his flank. He wants to be the one to truly lead the team to victory like he almost did with the OKC Thunder. If he goes back to the Warriors, like Jalen Rose noted, it'll affect his legacy and make him a man who has to have super all-star talent to win a title, instead of being able to make it happen with whoever is around him. But now, let's go to the other side of that equation that Rose mentioned, shall we? Number 2, Steph Curry's legacy. It is very curious how people choose to talk about Steph Curry at times, because they'll very easily say that he is the best pure shooter in the game today, or one of the best in the NBA right now. But when it comes to his legacy and where he ranks all time, they get cold feet. No, really, think about it. In fact, go back to the NBA Finals that ended in June. What was everyone saying Steph Curry had to do? They said he had to win the NBA Finals MVP to ensure his legacy. Why was that? Why was it so important for Curry to get the Finals MVP when he clearly had helped his team win 3 previous NBA titles? In fact, one of the Finals MVPs that Kevin Durant won could have easily gone to Curry. Yet, for some reason, despite all the accolades he had gotten, if he didn't get the Finals MVP, he wouldn't be one of the best ever. Which is dumb, because there are Hall of Famers who haven't won that award like Charles Barkley, Steve Nash, Scottie Pippen, Patrick Ewing, Dennis Rodman, Kevin Garnett, and so on. Curry has proven himself time and time again, and yet people hesitate to put him in the top 10 of all time, and that honestly doesn't make sense. In the lists that are made, most put him in the 8 to 10 position, even though Curry has done more than many of the people in those top 10 lists that they make. Curry has 4 rings, and that puts up a ring or two above much others in the list. Now, to be clear, we're not saying that he's the best to do it. We honestly don't believe that due to 2 men named Michael Jordan and Bill Russell. But if you want a hot take, we would say he's number 1, better than LeBron. Yeah, I told you, it was a hot take. Right now, most people would place LeBron in the top 3 of all-time NBA players, and for most fair reasons. His play is incredible and is a generational player. But here's the twist. So is Steph Curry, and Steph has done better than him in key stats and metrics that people overlook for some unknown reason. For example, NBA Finals performances, many people cited Steph Curry as a flawed candidate in the best ever category because he hadn't won the Finals MVP. But let's look at another stat via how well his and LeBron's teams have done in the finals. LeBron James went to the NBA Finals 10 times with 3 different teams. A pretty impressive number, but he lost 6 of them. And one of those victories was controversial due to a play by LeBron that got a certain player kicked out of a key game 6. Meanwhile, Steph Curry has been to the finals 6 times and only lost twice, and one of those was tainted because of the injuries to KD and Klay Thompson. So stats-wise, Stephen is better in the finals than LeBron. In fact, in the Steve Kerr era, when this team goes to the playoffs, they don't lose unless they're in the finals. LeBron can't say that. Also, LeBron has been swept in the finals twice. Now, most would agree that both LeBron and Steph are some of the best shooters ever, but Curry beats him on key things like threes made and just making it look way too easy. He literally broke a video game that analyzed stats because he was too good. Both have won multiple MVP awards, but Curry is the only person in NBA history to be a unanimous MVP. Not even LeBron has gotten close to that. But here's the key metric: team cohesion. One of the dark spots on LeBron's legacy is that he is infamous for how he handles teammates and coaches, including getting players removed from the team or coaches fired because he doesn't like them or gels with them. This also led him to leaving Cleveland to go to Miami, then back to Cleveland, and then to the Lakers, where he has had one good season with them. Meanwhile, Curry has been on the Warriors his whole career and is likely a lifer. He has had 2 coaches, and the second was Steve Kerr. His teammates love him, and no one has a bad thing to say about him. So when you add all of that up, isn't Stephen Curry better than LeBron? But what do you think? What do you think of this look at the Golden State Warriors and whether or not Stephen Curry needs to bring back Kevin Durant in order to get even more titles and further secure his legacy? Do you feel that Jalen Rose is right? Or do you think that this is like all the others that are still underestimating Steph in terms of who he is and what he can do? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.